Good morning, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. Hope you're well on this Tuesday. Hopefully everyone's had a few days to disconnect and relax a little bit. We had obviously Thanksgiving, and I know it was different this year. Hopefully everybody was socially distant but still connected to their families through technology or other creative ways. I saw all kinds of interesting setups, so people could stay connected. But most importantly, hope you had some good quality time and connections in some ways to the people that you love. And hopefully the 3 days that followed were more about resting this year and less about cleaning from big parties. Maybe past years had been. I know I experienced that, and although I definitely missed our family, it was interesting how quick the dishes got done, and and that was lovely because then we could just relax and enjoy and have fun for the next few weeks. And maybe you did some cyber shopping, to get ready for the other holidays. And today is Giving Tuesday, so we'll talk more about that at the back end of our show. But there's, lots of great organizations out there to celebrate today. And today we're talking to the head of one of them as well. Today we know that this time has been really hard on everybody for sure, and it's been a big challenge. But one of the groups and the cohorts that we hear a lot that are struggling are teens. Teens are definitely beings that are, at that stage in life that they want that connection to other people. And a lot of that does happen in person. And a lot of this virtual connection, although it's something, can also lead to some other challenges, for sure, for teens. And with a lot of their activities being closed and opportunities to be connected and be stimulated from, healthy activities, it's definitely a time that there is some isolation and disconnection for that group. And with all the technology, sometimes there's a rise in cyberbullying for sure. And because people aren't around the teens are not around their friends the same way, they can maybe feel a loss of confidence and other stigmas, that pop up that they could be dealing with. So we, we're very grateful today to have Michaela with us, Michaela Nichols. She is a woman who's had her own experiences with a lot of these struggles. She's dealt with teen bullying. She's dealt with body image issues. She's dealt with sexual assault. She's dealt with peer pressure. And so much more. And she, went through those struggles, and she got to a point in her life that she wanted to help others in terms of their journeys that might have been impacted. And so at the age of 23, she's the founder of a 501c3 nonprofit organization, another place that you could bring your Giving Tuesday support, the Blatantly Honest Foundation. She is a national speaker. She's a podcaster. She's a best-selling author of her book, Blatantly Honest, Normal Teen, Abnormal Life, where she talks about her experience, and there it is, her experience and her journey as a teenager. And she also has a podcast where she interviews, various individuals to, bring attention to her, these issues that are so important to her. Now, she's an influencer in her own right, and she really has a wonderful way of staying connected to our younger adults around us. She's created 2 children's coloring books that are focused on anti-bullying and positive image, and they're called Buddies Don't Bully, and Every Body is Beautiful. And thanks to the generous sponsors that she works with, she and her sponsors have donated over 11,000 coloring books to over 18 elementary schools in Central Florida and to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which is amazing.
Thank you.
And, as I said, she's, has this wonderful podcast as well, where she's talking to different celebrities, influencers, and experts about their own struggles and triumphs in these areas. So without further ado, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on your show.
We're so grateful that you could make the time. Obviously, anyone who reads your bio and, knows a little bit about you knows that, you are someone who took your experience, as a teen and decided to, use it to try to help others navigate that time. Can you talk to us a little bit about your experience as a teen and that process of that in helping others?
Definitely. Yeah, I never thought I would be doing this, but things happen in my life for a reason, I always say. Growing up, I started modeling when I was 14, and picture a little 5'10", well, I wasn't little, 5'10" girl who is new to the fashion industry, and she's being told, hey, Michaela, you need to lose weight to meet these industry standards. And I remember going to school and I would be, drinking these weird concoctions like lemon maple syrup water with cayenne pepper, and kids would really kind of notice that kind of stuff, and they'd crumple their food and throw it at me. And some of my fellow peers were like, you're disgusting, you're this, you're that. And so then it was, let's slam Michaela into the locker, let's tell her she's never going to make it, let's do all these things. And so the bullying really hit me in the heart, because it was something I was dealing with for such a long time. And then I started modeling, and suddenly Michaela, the tall girl, was now attractive to all the guys. And, I was very reserved. I was very just kind of an introvert, I guess. That's how I used to be. I'm not anymore. Introverted extrovert, I always say. But I remember my best guy friend that wanted to finally give me attention, took that attention too far and ended up sexually assaulting me. And I dealt with that for over a year. And I remember, when it all came out, because I kept it to myself, I didn't want to let my parents know. And I just remember the rumor mill got a hold of it and changed the story. And suddenly I was something that I wasn't. And so the bullying was not only body related, it was now, what I chose to do with my body and all this stuff. And little did anyone know that it was actually assault. So I dealt with bullying extremely bad firsthand, as well as cyberbullying. So this all kind of led me into the realm of writing the book, but that was kind of my own experience with it.
Yeah. And so how did you get through that time? I mean, obviously that's a lot to carry. And the evolution of that bullying was a lot to carry. And it's not uncommon, obviously, people like your parents, you were trying to shelter them from what you were experiencing.
Definitely.
So what are some of the techniques that you use when you think about, talking to other teens now about how to get through these times?
It's very difficult. I try to tell teens, I speak all across the country and in schools, K to 12, and bullying and these issues unfortunately start happening really younger. And I'm noticing the trends is that it's happening younger and younger. And these elementary age kids know what the topic of suicide is, or they know what the topic of assault is. And it's devastating, because the fact of the matter is bullying can come at you at any point in your life. I mean, I still deal with it to this day. And being aware of your surroundings and being aware of who you let into your life. So I always tell kids, just keep an eye out. I think that's the only real thing we can kind of do to acknowledge it. And more importantly, be there for your friends that are going through it, because when people go through these really traumatic events by themselves, they feel isolated and alone, and just relating to them that, hey, you're not alone and you can get through this is really the main message that I try to drive home, because I can't get up there and say, this is never going to happen to you, because I never thought it would happen to me, and it did.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the messages that you send to parents that might be observing changes, in their child, or concerned that, very specifically that something like this is happening? What are some ways that they can take some actions to help and support their kids during stuff like this?
So I'm not a parent, so I can't speak on behalf of all parents, but what I do tell the parents that reach out to me is start having these difficult conversations with your kids younger, because, we all want to live in this bubble and pretend that, oh, our kid doesn't know what that is, or our kid is this, and that's just not true. I mean, thanks to social media and the internet, kids are learning more than we expect them to at an earlier age. So having those uncomfortable conversations for their safety is crucial. If you're noticing a weird behavior with your kid, or maybe they're more introverted, or they're spending more time with the door shut or something of that nature, kind of talk to them, notice those signs. You know your kids better than anyone else. And being able to say, hey, is something wrong? And let's talk about it in a safe space instead of like, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to do that. Like, it's not, obviously it's your place to protect your child, but you really need to be there in a way that's not going to make them feel bad for relaying this information to you.
Right. And be supportive for sure.
Yeah.
So you wrote a book, which is, not, where every young person, gets with an experience, but you wrote a book, and then obviously you took that book on the road and started to speak. How did that evolve into your nonprofit organization?
It was so funny. With the book coming out, and then someone said, hey, Michaela, you want to go do speaking engagements? I used to be so scared of public speaking, like really bad. Like I would not do it. And I don't know, I began to just love it. And suddenly I was doing, 60-minute keynote presentations all across the country. And then I was speaking and someone said, hey, like the little 6-year-olds can't read this book because obviously the content. So we developed the coloring books. And then someone said, Michaela, like, you clearly have a passion for this. Why don't you start a foundation? And I had just graduated from the University of Central Florida, and it was like a month. I think I graduated right when COVID started because I couldn't walk, which was really sad. But obviously, we were all safe about it. So I had all this time on my hands, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I put together an incredible board. We have the co-founder of Kettle One Vodka, David Vandeveld, James Haven, who is the brother of Angelina Jolie, Dale Noel, who is just amazing. She's very charitable and is a great friend in person. And I look up to her so much. But yeah, we have a really incredible board. I think there's like 10. And we worked on developing a curriculum that was meant to be in schools. And obviously COVID kind of changed all that. So right now what we've really been doing is finding new ways to engage and share this messaging, because obviously I can't go speak in schools, and that was part of the curriculum. So we're finding ways to adapt and move that to an online platform.
Well, that's wonderful, because it's nice to see the online platforms be used for something good. And I love that you took your messaging and changed it to different age groups also, because although it sounds like your experience happened mostly at teen age, you are so on point, which is why I wanted to have you on here to talk about your experience, that we need to be having these conversations in age appropriate ways and younger.
Yes.
And at the YWCA, obviously we spend a lot of time trying to help young women find their voices. And I love that, through this, a difficult experience that you had, that you found yours.
Thank you. Yeah, it was difficult. I think finding our story it's not a pretty process, but it's something that we all need to do. So I applaud you on your efforts to encourage people to share theirs.
Well, and the stories are so important. And we know that so many youth are, keeping theirs in and not sharing it. So, always grateful for the opportunity to have someone talking about it. So your organization has done a lot of, very interesting initiatives. And I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about one in particular that is really cool. So can you tell us a little bit about Operation Inclusion?
Yes, I would love to just tell you all about Operation Inclusion. I am so passionate. Like, obviously, all of our initiatives are very important, but this one just is literally out of this world. The Blatantly Honest Foundation has been awarded 2 space contracts in, space, outer space. And basically, we're going to be on this chip right here. So this is what it actually looks like. This chip, as I try to find the middle screen. Sorry, everyone that's watching, if you can't read it. It says Blatantly Honest Foundation. But what we're doing is, on it is going to be a micro SD card, and we're collecting photos. And so the whole Operation Inclusion is we're sending photos to the moon so no one can look down at victims of bullying, sexual assault, and other social issues again. And knowing that all of us can walk outside and look up at the moon and just realize, like, wow, I'm up there. Like, I can hold myself to that higher standard. No one can make me feel small. And I am just so humbled to be able to say that. Not many 23-year-olds, or let alone foundations, can say, we have photos going to the moon. And we're treating it as a fundraiser. So we're asking for a $5 donation for one photo and a $10 donation for 3 photos. And you get a cool certificate. It's a great Christmas thing. I've been telling people now, not only are you helping a 501c3, you can send your photo to the moon, like talk about bragging rights. So yeah, we've brought on so many different influencers, Christopher Buckle, Ketchy, Lexi Rabe from the Avengers, people like that, to really just let people know that they're not alone and we can all go to the moon together to fight these social issues. And the really cool thing about it is it'll be taking off in 2021. And you can actually watch the live stream of the launch. So you can literally watch your photo like go to the moon. So we're so excited about it. Like, it's just a dream come true.
Well, that is by far a absolutely unique opportunity for sure. And, what a wonderful message, to be able to say, no one can look down on you, that you really are, at the pinnacle, for sure.
Thank you.
So, I look at this time and I look at, so many important social issues and causes that are out there. And there's so many young people like your age and younger that are really the voices of change and the voices of, really pushing to create a different, more equitable and a more fair, existence, for all. What do you think is, where do you think that comes from with your age group? Obviously, I'm much older, so I've, really amazed by the passion and the energy that we see across the board and in so many different areas. But, here you are talking about these in particular.
Thanks. I think us young people, and I think I can speak on behalf of some of them, not all of them. I think there are certain people that notice, we kind of feel the energy around us. And I think there's been this shift in society and our world. And it's like, we've forgotten, basically the root of all evil is we have forgotten how to treat each other. And I think we're the next generation, and it's our responsibility to step up to that plate, because if we don't, who will? And I think there's so many empowered young people that want to be the voices for change, that want to encourage others to share their voice, because that's what's going to get us through this, and that's what's going to make us more united as a whole.
Well, I love that young people have role models like you out there. So, you shared a little bit about your experience with sexual assault, and, again, your initial reaction to it is common. And as, we've talked about, the YWCA of Northern New Jersey is the home of Healing Space, our sexual violence resource center, where we do support survivors. And many of the survivors are young people. What message do you have for young people that, may be keeping something inside right now because of fears and similar fears to you had about coming forward?
It's such a difficult thing to talk about. And I always get like teary-eyed talking about it. But, you're not alone going through this, and that don't be afraid to speak up. I know it's very intimidating, and it's like, well, what if they blame me, or what if it's somehow my fault? It's not. You are not the result of the things that happen to you. It's how you react to them, and you can take your life back and you can take your voice back. You just can't be afraid to speak up, because everyone wants to help you, but it's hard to help someone that doesn't want to speak up. So please, please, please do so in a safe way, and know that you can get through this and you can overcome this, and you don't have to be a victim forever. You can be a survivor, and you can empower others.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And obviously, YWCA are full of people that believe survivors, and we are here to support you. And if there is anyone watching who knows someone who's going through a situation like this, you can call our 24/7 hotline at 201-487-2227. And we have trained advocates to take your call whenever you make it, to support you and, confidentially help you navigate working through what's happened to you. So we do encourage folks to reach out. So show us that book again, Michaela. Let's see that. again.
Yes. So here it is. Blatantly honest. It's my face. Blatantly honest, normal teen, abnormal life. It's 50,000 words, but I promise it's a fast read. I don't really read books, but like I read this. I mean, I wrote it, but I also read it, and it's a pretty fast read for those who don't like reading too much.
Well, it is the holidays. It's a great opportunity to pair a book and a picture in space.
Yeah.
Again, the proceeds from supporting these efforts are supporting this wonderful organization that is supporting our youth in terms of dealing with these issues. And I'm so grateful that you found your voice and are using it in this way and helping so many young people navigate these times. So we are in COVID, and there are a lot of teens that are home and are, clearly, truly stuck in terms of being able to get out and deal with these issues. What's a parting message, to them in terms of this time in particular?
This time, oh, sorry.
I would say this time and these issues, which is takes it to a different level.
I think just reminding people that this, there's a quote and it's like, this too shall pass. And that I tell myself every day, literally have it on a sticky note and I read it over and over again, because I think everyone's anxiety is at an all-time high. Obviously going through the things that I went through, like I suffer from anxiety and that kind of stuff. And it's been very heightened. So again, know you're not alone and you can get through this difficult time. We're all going to get through this together. And just, realize that there's going to be life after COVID. And that's what I keep trying to tell people, because, we'll go back to seeing each other's faces. I really hope, because I miss seeing everyone. But if you're going through something, whether it's bullying or sexual assault, please speak up. You can't suffer in silence. It won't help you. I know that firsthand because that's what I went through. I can't speak for everyone, but speaking up was the best decision I ever made. And I encourage you to do so, because it'll make you feel so much better. Right. Maybe do art, something of that nature, to really get your mind off of it and take time for yourself. I know we're all so stressed out about money and financials and everything of that nature, but remember that we're all human and we all need to do things to keep us sane. So don't, risk your sanity for, financial stuff. Obviously that's very important, but focus on you, breathe, appreciate the little things. I think COVID has taught us to appreciate the little things and the little accomplishments. So don't feel like you got to conquer the whole world right now, but just conquer the day and be the best version of yourself. And if you're dealing with something, please don't be afraid to speak up.
Well, thank you for sharing again. And to, again, anyone watching out there, there's so many services that are available to you now virtually and in safe ways that we can get support, whatever you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with bullying, whether you're dealing with sexual violence, whether you're dealing with body image issues, or others. Just, make sure that you get some information to someone that can help connect you to an organization to do that. There's so many of us out there that are here and working hard, even though we're doing it virtually and distant, but are here to help. For those of you watching, as you can see, we're putting in the links so that you can access the Moon Mission and follow Michaela on all of her social media platforms. And we do encourage you to stay connected to her organization and the work that she's doing, and watch her. And those coloring books are just also a great opportunity.
Yes.
I've got 2 7-year-olds, so I'm going to be grabbing some of those to share with them for sure.
Yes. Well, thank you.
So thank you, Michaela. And for those of you watching, as I started at the beginning saying, today is Giving Tuesday, and it is a global day of giving. It's something that is happening everywhere in this world today. And there's so many wonderful causes that we do encourage you to take some time out and support at least one of them. And obviously, Michaela has shared an organization that is definitely a good investment. We also believe that the YWCA of Northern New Jersey is a very good investment. We've been around for over 100 years, and we have been very focused on eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting equality for all. And honestly, each year our work just gets more and more important. And donations, no matter how small or large, definitely make an impact for any of the nonprofits that you support. You should never feel like, oh, I don't have much to give, so it's not going to make a difference. It all makes a difference. It all helps improve the lives and helps us as organizations focus on our missions and be able to make them into a reality. For the YWCA of Northern New Jersey to support us, obviously we have our donate going on the screen as well. You can visit our website. You can do it through Facebook. You can text equality to 707070. And we do encourage you, whether you're supporting the YWCA of Northern New Jersey or the Blatantly Honest Foundation or any other of the wonderful, amazing causes that are out there, that you do take some time to show your support and love and appreciation for nonprofits, especially this year. I can speak, I think, comfortably on behalf of so many of us that this has been a challenging time for us. We really focus on and run on the support of our communities, and our communities obviously have been stressed and not been able to support us in the same way. But yet our communities have needed us even more, and so we all have been doing more with a lot less. And these dollars will help keep us going for sure. Yes. So with that, I also want to remind you that we have some other great YWTV segments this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to be hanging out with the Hangout Girl, Lauren Turk, and we're going to talk about some fashion finds and holiday looks to make you feel festive and fun. She is a character. We've had her on before, and if you aren't following her on social media, you should, because her stories alone should be like a Netflix show. She's really, really, really funny. And on Thursday, we continue our Share the Mic Now programs that we do every Thursday, and we have a wonderful young person, Ebony Jackson, joining us. She's really amazing. I've had the opportunity to work with her for a few years now through our relationship with Montclair State and the social justice work that we do with the campus community there, and that she leads there. And she's another, like Michaela, an amazing young person who is just a force, and so grateful that there are so many of them around us. And I'm going to keep introducing them to you because you all should come to and follow them. December 2nd, if anyone who's job seeking, the YWCA has a free program on personal branding through our Next Chapter program from 7 to 8 p.m. Sandra Bleckman, who is the leader of our program and contract employment specialist, will help you discover and market your most valuable asset when you're job hunting, and that is you. And so we're going to help you work on your personal brand and working through any blocks that you may have that are keeping you from landing the successful job that you want. We also encourage you on December 5th. She has another program called Career Shifts and Pivot for those of you that might be in a job but not in the right job, which is a whole nother area of job seeking. And on December 2nd, our Serious About STEM Girls program is kicking off through January 27th. This is a wonderful program funded by Google. And we are so excited to invite girls ages 9 to 14 from Bergen, Essex, Hudson, Morris, and Passaic counties to attend our free programs for all of those weeks. If you're serious about STEM, even if you don't think you're serious about STEM, you'll be surprised what STEM is when you get involved in the group. And our leader is amazing. It's limited space. Again, as I said, it's free. You can register online. We'll have all the links to these here. And I leave you again with talking about our 21-day racial justice and social equity challenge. We really are looking to get everyone in our community to take the challenge, 21 days of either a podcast interview, article, just to reflect on your personal experience and learn more about race, power, privilege, and leadership. It's a wonderful opportunity that all of us should be taking so that together we can find our voices and become social justice warriors, just as Michaela and others have. With that, Michaela, thank you again for joining us today. We just really appreciate you sharing your story, and we hope that our viewers, continue to follow you and learn more. And looking forward to looking up at the moon.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me and letting me share
all your hard work, and wonderful that all your supporters, are helping make all that happen.